Seems like every single time I do a new video, there's a new computer in the room. So here's the 3 there. Here's the 4 down there. And here's another one that that I'm helping restore to sell. It is another Gateway 2004 SX25. But this video is about the other one that I was working on that turned out to have Windows 3.11 for workgroups. So, the second part of this is when as you can already see, but I'll explain, when I started this up, I was greeted with the normal program manager just as so, like that. Okay, well actually, it was more like that, because I could see the desktop background. So, I was thinking, oh okay, that's interesting. Once I managed to get Windows to boot. It wasn't booting prior because they had changed the config.sys and the autoexe.bat, so it wouldn't boot Windows. Changed that and it started right up. So, what do we have here? Well, we have under main the normal Windows 3.11 for workgroups apps, file manager, control panel, print manager, clipboard viewer, Windows setup where you can configure and change settings, PIF editor, which is basically the MS-DOS shortcuts. You can change specific settings on a per application basis. The MS-DOS prompt, which is command.com. Another thing is this drive may be failing because, Alt-Enter, because it seems to be loading really slowly. And instead of displaying the C:/blah, it was doing this instead. And then when I would do a directory, it wouldn't change that part to the new directory. So if I were to do cd change directory ... go to root, and I did like cd DOS to go to the DOS folder, it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't display that it was in C/DOS. It would just say that it was in whatever that is. It was just : or the : sign. So that seems to be cleared up. But even though it has 15 megabytes of RAM, it where is this? Close, minimize, maximize. I don't know why this is not. Okay. Even though it has 15 megabytes of RAM, according to the Windows. Nope, I'm wrong. It doesn't say that. Okay, according to the memory manager, it seems to have 15 megabytes of RAM. Wait, where am I going with this? Okay, it doesn't seem to have 15 megabytes of RAM, even though that is what's installed. When you do mem, it loads it up as 6 megabytes conventional, 6 available to MS-DOS, about 10 megabytes in EMS, and it says 15 megabytes total, but 10 is available to EMS and XMS, but only about 5, I don't know. And also it's running MS-DOS 5.0, so this is just overall a weird combination. On top of the fact that the floppy drive does not work. Those of you that remember floppy drives and how to configure them, if the light is on solid if the read-write light is on solid without it reading or writing to anything, if there's no floppy diskette in the drive, then that means that there's failure with the cable or the controller board. I checked to make sure it was in the proper orientation. It is, because if you flip it, then it'll report a disk 0 error, which is hard drive, and a floppy drive error because it can't even read it. So this is in the proper orientation, but there is something wrong with the controller board, because if I pop in a known good diskette, it still lights up as if it's reading, even though it's not. And I do a colon. See, not ready, reading drive A. And it seems to be extremely slow on the hard drive, so most likely the hard drive is failing. So I'm going to have to look into that. This system may not go on to eBay immediately. We'll have to either look at it more or just plain use it for parts. The other system which I am going to look at is this system. So this system is another Gateway 2000. It is, again, a 446SX25. The other one I believe was a 33. Yeah, 33. So this guy is an SX25, which was also upgraded to 486DX4, 120 megahertz. Apparently, these were bought in a lot. Not as in a lot, meaning a large amount. Well, okay, same meaning, different. Same connotation, different meaning. This is bought in a lot, meaning a pallet. There were about 50 or so of these computers purchased for enterprise work. This one is configured differently because when you boot up and it goes past the self-check, it goes to a terminal emulator. So if you do Shift Tab and go 7 branch to DOS, then you can see it is MS-DOS 6.2. Also, put the floppy drive in. The floppy drive actually reads and always on camera. Always on camera. Okay. Let's try this again. First time's the try. First time's the charm. Okay, so the floppy drive also works. Yay! Directory listing. So I think that there is something weird that might just need to be cleaned. Here's inside the computer. Let's just dust this out a little bit. And one more thing. Since the floppy disk is in the drive, no it isn't, perfectly prepared. Since the floppy disk is now in the drive, we can do this. And I'm just messing with the, Okay, that's a loud fan. That's... So where was I? Oh yeah, the floppy diskette. So, while I'm waiting for that to boot up and the CPU fan is disconnected, I might as well go over the power supply. Unlike the prior power supply, you can't really hear it on this one, because even though it looks absolutely terrible, and yes, that is rust, it works, and there is a large amount of air that's being blown out. Okay, I found a floppy diskette that does want to work, proving that the floppy drive does work. So, and yes, I understand that it's a Windows 98 floppy disk boot disk thing. So we're now booting up. And it is reading off the floppy drive, as you can hear. And here we are. Furthermore, I would like to check. Let's do a check disk on the computer. Actually, let's do a scan disk. Let's actually tell it to do a scan disk on the C drive. I'm just doing this so I can see if the hard drive has any bad sectors, or if it's just physically failing, or if it was just sticky from sitting for so many years. That may be a problem. Problem found. Some data is stored in a damaged area of C. Let's see. Fix. I'm gonna guess that this is just gonna have a bad disk or something. Which will be sort of frustrating because, I don't know. I was sort of hoping that this one didn't have a bad drive. I do have another drive I can throw in it, but such is life. So this has been part 2 of the surprise Windows 3.11 video. This has been Zesty Panda with another video. If you liked this, then thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you have any ideas, comments, remarks, put them in the comments. Subscribe if you like my stuff. And I'll have another video up soon. So yeah.